Hey, here we are. We're back again. It's Let's Talk Phys Ed. This is Season 3, Episode 3. Super excited tonight. We've got an amazing guest. A lot of people have been asking about this guest, and they're super excited to watch. And so hopefully you're tuned in and you're watching the Let's Talk Phys Ed show with Jason and Tanner. I'm Jason Steele. I'm your host. With me, as always, Tanner Rose.
Hey, Jason. How's it going? Hey, I want to congratulate you on your first solo open phys ed training this week. How did it go? Were you nervous? Tell me about it.
I was extremely nervous. Anytime where you present on anything, I think you're going to be nervous, but specifically a 6-hour professional development, but it went really smooth. I'm excited to do my next one and talk more about open with phys ed teachers. So how was your day?
Still moving lots of boxes. My wife likes to get the biggest boxes and pack them tight, fold books and fold paper, and says, go ahead. Well, so it's one of those things.
I've got a bunch of boxes sitting in my breezeway right now, so just stop by and get them. I don't know.
All right.
A 12-hour drive, but just come on down. Come on up, I guess. Come on up and grab it. Let's jump into this chat now. We are super excited to be joined by Sandy Zimmerman. Sandy, you've kind of been in and out of shows lately. You were on Jorge's show. You've been interviewed probably 1,000 times, 1,000 different people. I will tell you, this will be probably the lowest key interview you have, and probably the most unprofessional. That's kind of how we roll. But we're excited to have you. Can you tell the viewers a little bit about yourself, who you are, where you're from, what you do, and then why we have you on the show?
Sure. Well, usually when people introduce me now, it's as the Sandy Zimmerman. So you're kind of throwing me off there. You got to throw that in there.
I forgot. This is the Sandy Zimmerman.
Thank you. Now I feel like I'm ready. So where do I start? I've been a physical education teacher for over 20 years, and it has just been such a blast to be in the district I am. We have a lot of freedom to kind of teach kids and use non-traditional things. We still do traditional sports and that too, but it has just been a blast to be in the district and have the support that I've had. And so it's been a wonderful 20 years. In fact, I love it as much, if not more now, than I did back when I started. So a few years ago, I thought it would be really inspiring to start this crazy American Ninja Warrior journey thing. And I said yes, and I jumped on some obstacles, and it has definitely been 4 years of ups and downs and big success, but also a whole lot more failure than success. And I had my breakthrough season on season 11 American Ninja Warrior. I was the first woman in season 11 to finish the course. Yeah. And the first mom ever in 11 seasons to get up the wall. So it's been a great season, and it's been a fun ride. I've been definitely doing a lot more media stuff and just enjoying it. And I kind of feel like I've been unleashed. It's been really fun to kind of have the courage and confidence to do things like this, and to put myself out there on the show. And all of that has just been such a growing process for me.
Yeah, super cool. And you mentioned like the first mom to finish. And I think when we finally set this up and Tanner was like, Sandy's going to be on the show. Sandy's going to be on the show. I think he texted me a GIF of you, like you're GIF famous, right?
I'll tell you, that was so amazing to have. I thought, I can't believe I have a GIF. I have 2 of them. They sent me the one on the wall when I turned in flex, and then they sent me the one when I get up and hit the buzzer and I'm yelling, first mom. It's pretty cool. I mean,
one small step for moms, one giant leap for momkind, right?
Absolutely.
I just made that up right now. That wasn't scripted, by the way.
Good job, Jason.
Thank you, Tanner. I literally just made that up. But so first mom to complete that, that super exciting. And then just talk about how that like the reaction that you've got from others because of that. Like, obviously it's important to you. It's an amazing thing, but it's had to have an impact on other people around the world. Can you talk about that at all?
Yeah. So the buzzer itself, I mean, it was incredible. It was amazing. But really the journey to get there is what has actually transformed me. And, but giving me that platform and hitting the buzzer, that's what's been the impact that I've been able to see in other people's lives. And, you know, I get messages and people find me on social media, or just people that find me while I'm out and about in town. And I get to hear incredible stories from people, you know, everyday people that are just like me, that are going, you know, I just didn't think that I could dream a big dream. And watching you hit that buzzer just opened up the possibilities that we could have in our own lives, whether it's ninja or whatever it is. So I've heard just different people in their career that have decided, you know what, if you can do that, then I can do this. And I'm going to take this first step in this journey. And whatever it is for them, it's all been different things. And so I think that's what's been really incredible about this, is that it's not just, oh, the 40-year-old moms are really liking my story. I love it that they do, and I've touched those people, but all the other people from all different walks of life, all different ages, genders. I mean, it's been incredible and so motivating for me to hear back from these people going, hey, here's the journey I'm starting. And to think that it could have that impact on people's lives, just, it's mind blowing, to be honest with you.
Awesome.
Oh, we're super proud of you. So a couple of years ago, I had been teaching gymnastics, and I'm not a good gymnastics teacher, though. So, you know, I was like, what can I do differently? And then I ran across Ninja Warrior, and then that was the year that Casey Catanzaro, she beat the wall. So I was like, this is perfect. So I got out my projector, and I showed all the kids in one of my classes, like 5 minutes of her just doing her whole thing. And just the energy that the kids had and how excited they were just watching her and the cheering. And it was like they thought they were there with her. And it was just completely amazing. And it totally transformed my gymnastics from, I like to put obstacles in between, you know, the balance beam and things like that. And the kids just absolutely loved it. They thought they were little ninjas. So, you know, I'm thinking about this and how great it's been for my class. And I know some people use like Open Phys Ed. They've got their Ninja Warrior module. Like, what kind of activities would you recommend for somebody who wants to get into some of this ninja stuff to inspire their kids in a different way than maybe they had in the past?
I kind of mentioned it earlier, but I am really fortunate to work in a district and have that support from my principal, where I have been able to incorporate obstacles into our PE unit. And people beg me from the start of the school year, when are we doing obstacles? When are we doing obstacles? And even when we do obstacles and we'll do that unit, the first thing they ask me when we're done is, when are we doing obstacles again? And so it is just such a fun sport. It is a fun sport to share, but it's a fun sport to do, especially, you know, the way it's set up is really done in progressions. I think if people are doing it correctly, and we do it in progressions to keep people safe, but we also do it in progressions so people can learn, but still feel good about that. And, you know, not feel completely demoralized by it, because it is a really hard sport. So we try, you know, whenever I do it, whether it's classes at school or it's classes that I do in the backyard, that everything's done in progression. So if you're new tonight and you've never done ninja, or maybe you don't have a lot of activity in your background, it doesn't matter. Anybody can be a ninja. And honestly, a lot of ninja is about a mindset. It's about a mindset of doing something that's maybe a little bit scary and going for it anyways. It's so much more than just the obstacles. And so it is about a mindset of being able to fail and learn and get back up and try again. So there's so much more to ninja than the obstacles. And I think that's where I took it from something I was, you know, interested in, and it turned it into a passion, watching kids grow from that process of learning through, you know, we talk a lot about how it's all by trial and error. We learn ninja by trial and error. And honestly, pretty much all of life is learned through trial and error. And so I try to set up my classes like that. So if we're doing an obstacle, here's level 1. And we talk about, I have fallen in the water many, many more times than I have hit a buzzer, many more times. And so we talk about that in the learning process. It's like, hey, you start at level 1, and where you start is where you start. And it doesn't matter where you start, you just start. And so you start at level 1, and you might fall in the water. You might, you know, not get the obstacle, but you keep at it. And it's about having that mind frame and teaching kids to take that outside of the gym. And so everything we do, it's like, you're at level 1, great. But what's cool about it is that there are kids that maybe are more experienced. They have a background in something similar to this, or they've come and taken classes. And so they have more experience in it. And maybe they're at level 2, or maybe they're at level 3, or maybe like level 4 is full scale ninja. And so it's really amazing to watch kids first be able to go at whatever level they want, because I think we really need to do that for our kids. If we're only teaching level 1, what do you do with those kids that are ready for 2, 3, or 4?
Yep.
And if we're only teaching 3 and 4, what about those kids who aren't ready for that? We want them to enjoy the sport. We want them to love the sport. Then they need to have some success at it. And they also need to have some, see the progression that they're making. But also we need to make things not so easy that everybody gets it. Because that's another lesson I think our students and our kids, everybody needs to learn, is that if you want to get really good at something, you have to put in the time, you have to put in the work. And because you fail at something, that means you keep at it. If you quit, then you don't ever achieve anything really great. And so the life lesson of failing and getting back up and putting the time in and the work in to get really good at something, there's just so much that comes from it if you can do it in those progressions. And then it's fun to watch kids celebrate each other. I don't know what it is about this sport that feels different than other sports that I've been a part of, because I've done traditional, I've done non-traditional, but there is something really special about ninja. It doesn't matter if someone's at a level 1 and someone's at a level 4 and they're in the same group and they're both pushing themselves and working, that level 4 person will get that level and everyone in the group just goes nuts for him. And then that level 1 person will get level 1 and everyone will go equally as nuts. And I think having that created that atmosphere, that makes me so proud when I watch the kids that get it. They get it. It's not about where you start. It's about the progress that you make. And so that's how I've tried to do all my obstacles, whether it's in the backyard, whether it's at school. And it's just such fun to watch kids interact like that.
Man, I would love for my kids to be in your class, just to have not just the ninja stuff, but like the way you teach and the way you think. So that's fantastic.
And I was going to talk about that too. I love 2 of the things that you mentioned. Number 1, I love the leveled activities. I've made it a point in my own personal classroom to kind of add those levels. And I was nervous about them to begin with, because I thought all of my students are going to start and think that they're at level 5, because they think if I'm not at level 5, I'm not where, Mr. Steele wants me to be, and I'm going to fail and I have to be the best. But it wasn't like that. The students choose their level and they're okay with where they're at. And so I love that you mentioned that. I also love that you were real about failing and that it's okay, and that not everybody is going to reach a certain level. Like not everybody's going to get there. I think too often we kind of, we help these students along and we want everybody to be successful on everything. And that's great. That's a great idea. But I'm not as successful as Tanner in whatever activity. He's not as successful at fishing as I am, right? Because he just doesn't put the effort in.
Or growing a beard.
Or growing a beard. My beard's better all the time. It just always is. But that doesn't mean that he stops. He keeps trying. I help him along, a little pat on the back, like, Tanner, you're doing a great job. Oil that thing, comb it, right? But I love the fact that you were real with that, and that it's okay for your students to not be successful and then choose their outcome. Are they going to quit, or are they going to keep going? Right. So I love that you mentioned that.
Yeah. I think that's probably one of the most important parts in teaching is the atmosphere that you create.
Yeah.
Above almost anything else. You can be schooled in how to teach all the health components, every sport and every skill work that you need. But if you don't create that atmosphere where kids feel safe to come in and make mistakes, and to have them understand that that's part of the learning process, and to model that, and I think one point that you said that's really important is that there are going to be some things you're better at and some things the other person's better at, and that we can still celebrate each other. And no matter what it is, and that's what's fun when you do different units. Sometimes, you do those non-traditional units, and then all of a sudden this kid who really struggled with the traditional sports is like the star. And it's good for both of those groups. It is so good for both of them to see is that we all have different strengths. We have different talents. It doesn't mean we quit and give up. It just means, hey, we're at whatever level we're at and we try to make that progress. But we can also celebrate the success of other people is really important.
Absolutely. So we were talking, Tanner and I were talking about, it seems like all the great ninjas have just super cool nicknames. You've got Flip Rodriguez, the Cowboy Ninja. You've got Captain NBC, the Weatherman. Tanner's favorite is Naptime Ninja, right? What are your favorite Ninja Warrior nicknames? Like,
My favorite Ninja Warriors or my favorite nicknames?
Yeah, the nicknames.
Oh boy, there are a lot. I mean, I have definitely some ninjas that I have gotten to know that I really enjoy watching and that I just have so much admiration and respect for sure. I'm trying to think of some of their nicknames. We all got to watch the Real Life Ninja complete the ultimate Mount Midoriyama, and we haven't had that for a long time. But I think what's so incredible about his story is not his athletic ability, although that is really amazing. What impresses me the most about Drew is that people need to realize that big dream of his, it took 9 years. How many people are willing to set a goal and stick at it for 9 years? Most people set a goal, it's like, oh, I want it today, or I want it tomorrow, or next week, or a month down the road, or maybe a year, but 9 years. And I think that is what is so impressive about him. I mean, everyone has got to tip their hat to the Real Life Ninja and what he has been able to accomplish, not just physically, but mentally. To me, that is what I just have so much admiration and respect for, someone that can stick with a goal for a long period of time. I think that's a key to being successful at anything, is that grit that it takes to achieve something great.
Yeah. So if Tanner and I were to be on the show, what would our nicknames be?
Oh boy. I think we'd have to play on those beards that you guys have for sure.
Yeah, I was going to make a joke, but you were like being serious with the setting a goal and never giving up. I was going to say, Tanner's been trying for 38 years to grow a beard.
Here's my nickname. Is going to be that. There's a stupid fly bugging me. Like, I don't know if you've seen it, but it was driving me nuts.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, Mr. Miyagi, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know if I know you guys well enough to make fun of you yet, but I'm sure
you can make fun of Jason a lot.
Yeah.
Make fun of Jason.
You clearly don't know us well enough. You haven't made fun of us yet, because that's usually how our show goes. I get made fun of, everybody laughs, 12 people watch the show.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? For your 17th wedding anniversary, I heard that you asked your husband for a salmon ladder. So, like, clearly you're the master of gift giving. And for my wedding anniversary, my wife and I, we do either like the traditional or the modern anniversary gift based on like how many years we've been married.
Oh, geez.
So, like, last year was aluminum or like diamonds or something. So,
well, you've given me ammunition to make fun of you now.
Yeah. Oh, good. So our wedding anniversary is coming up next month. And like the modern gift is like jewelry or something. And the traditional gift is steel. So like, what should I get my wife? Like, what do I need to get her?
Get her a picture of me.
A picture of you in a Speedo.
Not a Jason steel. No. Yeah.
Oh, a picture of
Jason's bad at giving gifts.
Speedo. Hopefully Tanner in the Speedo. Like, hard pass. I'm out of there. That would come back to get, somehow.
So like, what's the steel gift I need to get her? She's not listening. She's not in the room. Got a month.
Nothing does beat a salmon ladder, just because it's so iconic to American Ninja Warrior. I mean, who wants jewelry, chocolate? I mean, those are so boring. Come on. So I would have to go, if you're going to go with steel, you got to go with the salmon ladder, because it's my most popular besides the warped wall. It's my most popular obstacle that people want to come try. They want to know if they can do a salmon ladder. They never can. Yeah. but they want to know if they can, and they get on that thing and they attempt it. So that would be a good one to start.
If I can get up one ring, does that mean I've done it? Like if I go up one,
Well,
Or do I
let's
have to
be
get up
real.
like 5?
Let's be real here first. You're probably not even going to be able to budge the bar, so let's just be
Okay.
honest.
That's probably right. That is probably right.
But let's pretend that you were able to actually move the bar.
Yeah,
I would say
one bar.
Well, yes, and that's being really generous, but let's just say you did move it one. It still wouldn't count. So to count, you have to jump 4 rungs at least. And then I let you sign my salmon ladder if you can get 4 jumps.
Oh, wow. No trampoline? I can't like skip the first 3?
No, you have to get to it from a trampoline. So it's like the show. And then you got to get 4 clean jumps all the way up to the top.
Yeah, I'm getting wet.
I wish I knew like what you guys were talking about.
Oh, jeez.
Because I mean, like I built one today to my back.
Right.
And I had a video, but then my kid deleted it.
Right.
All the way.
Hey, that's a real thing in Ninja. If there is not video evidence, it absolutely does not count.
It did not.
Anyone does not.
It did not happen. So did you know, so Kelly Clarkson dreamed of being a marine biologist when she was younger. Okay. News to me too.
Wow.
News to me. But can you guess what movie it was that kind of changed her opinion?
That made her not want to be a marine biologist?
Yep.
Oh, I am so curious. What is it? Is it some Disney movie?
I think when I tell you, you're going to go, oh, yeah, of course, because that's like all of us, right? But it was Jaws.
Oh, jeez.
Right. Apparently, I don't, sounds kind of weird to me, but she's afraid of being eaten alive. I don't know. Apparently that's a thing.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a name for that phobia.
I would assume. Yeah. But she, it kind of changed her dream. She gave up on her dream to become a marine biologist, but then obviously she turned into Kelly Clarkson. Was your dream always to be a physical education teacher? And if so, how did that go? If not, what did you dream to be, and how did you become a physical education teacher?
I think growing up, that's a tough one. I'm trying to remember. I know growing up, there was a couple things I wanted to be. I remember once wanting to be a dentist, and it was solely because my dentist was so sweet and so nice. And I thought, that would be really amazing to be a dentist. And when a kid is getting their tooth pulled, to somehow have that ability to keep them calm and keep them feeling safe. And then I quickly learned that school is such a struggle, so that was not even going to be an option.
My dentist taught me my first dirty joke. So.
Oh, jeez.
See the dentist from Seinfeld or what?
No kidding.
It was a family friend, I guess.
Are you going to share that dirty joke, or is it not appropriate for the situation?
Yeah, we're on a family show.
I probably shouldn't. I think Jason's kid watches this.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. No, he does actually. My son is 9, and every time I put a show out, he gets notifications on his tablet, and he's like, "Dad, that was a cool show. I really like how you like." So he doesn't know that we're interviewing you, and so I'm excited to see like when he sees it, he's gonna be like, "Man, your guests are getting like famous." So we were talking a little bit before we kind of got before we hit record and started really doing the interview process, but you had mentioned that everybody really kind of wants to get into these deep questions about American Ninja Warrior, and you had mentioned that you were super excited to be interviewed by Jason and Tanner because we're and we're goofy and whatever. But so we want to know, like, there's got to be a super funny story from like behind the scenes, something that you can share, something that most people wouldn't know about the show.
Yes, let me think. There's one thing that was really amazing is so I finished 13th in the Tacoma City, and normally they take 15, but they changed the rules this year and they only took 12. So I finished 13th by about 15 seconds. Heartbreak. So yeah. Heartbreak. Oh. And so they had called me afterwards and said, do you want to come down to Vegas and do some course testing for us? And we'll give you a chance to get on some obstacles, give you a chance to run through the course. And I thought, I can't turn that down. Like, what an incredible opportunity it would be to get on the course, get on obstacles, and then hopefully next season to make it. And so I got to go down and test obstacles, and they actually let me do a full course run. And we're having to do it though in the heat of the day because they film at night, like at 9. So it's about 5. And in Vegas, it was still over 100 degrees.
Right.
And so it was hot, to say the least. And it was my chance though. They called me like, Sandy, it's your turn. You're going to do a full course run on stage 1. I thought, oh my goodness, what an opportunity. There's only been 2 women ever to make it through stage 1. And what an opportunity. And this year, everyone saw that only 1 girl made it past the warp wall. And so I'm there, and I am this is the opportunity of a lifetime. And so I get on the first obstacle and I make it. And I just can't even believe it that I'm here and I'm doing this. I get through the next obstacle, and it was a new one, the big rings, and then the double dipper. I thought, oh my gosh, it would be like a dream come true to get through the double dipper. So few women have made it through that, and it's a crazy obstacle. It flings you in the air. So I get on the double dipper, and I made it, and everybody is going crazy at this point. Like, I cannot believe this 40-something-year-old mom is crushing this stage 1 course. And then the next obstacle we went to was the jumping spider, which I'm not sure how many, but not many women have done that one. And I hit off the tramp and just nailed it. I thought, oh my gosh, is this happening? And I get to the end of the jumping spider, and it's all time. And it felt so high up. I had a moment of PTSD, and I'm sitting up there, and I asked the guys, like, do I have to jump from this high? And he's like, yes. And then when he said it like that, I thought, oh, I'm just being a wuss. But that's how I'd hurt my knee last season. And so I jump down, and I get on tire run, clear it, and I'm at the warp wall. And I thought, I cannot believe it. Only 1 woman has made it further than where I'm at right now. And I have never in my life been so exhausted, so completely exhausted. So I am trying, and the time is running out, and I'm trying to get up this warp wall. Meanwhile, you have all of the producers and cameramen and all those. They're mostly at this point for testing all in their air-conditioned trailers. And as I get out, I hear like everyone is just going crazy. And I ended up timing out at the warp wall, and I didn't get it. But they're all just going nuts. And they're like, oh my gosh, that was so incredible. That was so crazy. And I kid you not, I'm like, can you hold on? And I bend over, and I'm heaving, like about to throw up in front of all of them. I said, can you hold on? I'm about to throw up. And they're all like, oh, okay. And they all scattered back. But it was as close as I've ever come to puking right in front of a ton of people. So, but I was so proud that I made it that far, but I almost made a big fool of myself puking all over their set. But it was pretty funny.
That stuff happens, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We are so grateful that you took some time out of your evening and joined us tonight. We are so glad you were able to make it on the show. What we always ask is if there's any way that if someone would like to get a hold of you, obviously we're not giving, personal cell phone numbers out and whatever, how can we get a hold of you? Like, what is your social media handles, all sorts of things like that? Is there anything that you can, divulge about, any kind of secrets? We like to break the bank with secrets on shows. We almost had a baby announcement.
Yeah, almost.
Oh boy.
But anything that you want to tell us about the show, real quickly, or how can we get a hold of you? Anything for our viewers that way?
So on social media, you can, it's Zimpossible, both on Twitter and on Instagram, and then Facebook. I just have a public Facebook page at Sandy Zimmerman, American Ninja Warrior. But probably the best place is just to check out my website. That is finally up and running the last few months. It's sandyzimmermanninja.com, and people can find links to kind of what's going on in social media, just in media in general, and those kind of things. So that's a good place to kind of keep updated, is there.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I mean, I have some secrets, but I think they would take too long.
That's okay. We'll save those for like off camera.
Okay.
How upset people get when they watch the show. Thank you so much for joining us. We had a blast talking phys ed and talking about American Ninja Warrior. Hopefully we can get you back on another show, maybe for the reunion show every year. But as always, I'm Jason Steele. Thanks for watching. Tanner?
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much, Sandy.
You betcha.
Thank you, everybody.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.